Hey y'all, this is Fact or Fiction in the biopic film Notorious. Did Biggie Smalls really go in on his math teacher as in the movie? Yes, this is a fact. Big did tell off his teacher after the teacher told him that he wouldn't amount to anything other than a garbage man. Miss Valletta Wallace tells the story in the memoir Unbelievable, The Life, Death, and Afterlife of the Notorious B.I.G. of how her son came home from school one day and asked her how much a garbage man makes. She said that she remembers a magazine article on salaries of teachers in other professions. Christopher took the article to school the next day and he told his teacher that a teacher makes $22,500 a year while a garbage collector makes $29,000 a year. The teacher asked him, did he have a point? Chris replied by saying, I make more money than you if I were a garbage collector. Was Chris's father really absent during his childhood? Fact. The real story supports what is shown in the film regarding Chris's daddy, Selwyn. He was absent from his son's life except for buying food and supplies for his baby boy until he was 2. After that, his contact with the family stopped completely. Did Christopher's father lie to Miss Wallace about being married when they first met? This is a fact. In the film, Chris's daddy stops through for an impromptu visit and he tries to give Chris's mom $800. When she asked him, was this a gesture for him to start coming around more? His father said that it is impossible because he's married. She told him that he should have disclosed this fact before sleeping with her. The real story is that Miss Wallace found out that Chris's daddy was married during her pregnancy. This was redacted from the film. Was Biggie's mom really from Jamaica? Yes, Valletta Wallace immigrated to New York from the island in 1969 when she was 16. Residing in a small apartment, she held down a job and continued her education, eventually earning her a GED. In 1971, a friend of hers introduced her to Biggie's dad, Selwyn. Her only child was born on May 21, 1972. After realizing that her career in nursing wasn't what she wanted, she converted to a teacher's profession. Did Big's mom really refer to him as Chrissy Pooh? This is factual. Chris's mom affectionately called her son Chrissy Pooh. The name came from the Winnie the Pooh character, where Christopher Robin was the main character. Did Big really become a narcotic dealer when he was 12? This is also a fact. Big started selling pharmaceuticals at around the age of 12. Big admitted in a 1994 interview as he sat on the stairs of his mother's Bedford-Stuyvesant apartment in Brooklyn. His customers would ring his doorbell to cop and then light up right there. He really wasn't interested in dealing until a close friend and soon-to-be junior mafia member Chico DeVelt became a successful dealer himself. One day, Chico invited Big to come through the Ave, aka Washington Avenue, with him. That was the beginning of his drug career. Chico said that he felt like a bad influence because he's the one who introduced Big to the game, and he instantly became addicted to it. Did Big's mom discover his narcotic dealing after she mistook them for a plate of mashed potatoes? This is fiction. As shown in the film, his mother would find them under his bed. In real life, she found out a different way. Following a drug arrest in 1990 for having a loaded, unregistered handgun, the police were the ones that told her that Big was a narcotic dealer. Miss Wallace was in denial. She confronted Big and he told her that the accusations were true. She inadvertently found out about Big's embezzlement after his stardom. Valletta worked 2 jobs and often left Big home alone. How many times was Big arrested? Big was ultimately apprehended 7 times. Excuse me. His first arrest was in 1989 for carrying a loaded, unregistered gun. He was sentenced to 5 years probation for the offense. His second arrest came in 1990 for violating his probation. In 1991, he was arrested again in North Carolina for selling the white girl, and he did a 9-month bid. Fame didn't make things any better for Big pertaining to his criminal ways. On March 23, 1996, Big was arrested outside the Palladium nightclub in Manhattan for threatening 2 people who asked for his autograph. He smashed the windows of their taxi with a baseball bat and pulled one out of the car, punching the fan in the face. Several months later, during the summer of '96, he was arrested at his home in Teaneck, New Jersey, after the police found 50 grams of marijuana and 4 automatic weapons with laser sights, enlarged bullet clips, and filed off serial numbers. Damn. He faced another arrest that same summer on charges of beating and robbing a friend of a concert promoter on May 6, 1996 at a Camden, New Jersey nightclub. The man received $25,000 from Big in a civil suit. His last arrest was in the fall of '96, around the time of Tupac's untimely demise, after police found him smoking marijuana in a parked car near the Fulton Mall in Brooklyn. Did Big graduate high school? No. As emphasized in the film, Biggie dropped out of high school when he was 17. Did Big's mother really kick him out of the house when he was 17? This is factual. But she only kicked him out for 2 weeks. After she discovered that he was a street pharmacist, she also took out an insurance policy on him because she felt with him being in the streets and doing what he was doing that he was as good as dead. Did Big really sell the white stuff to a pregnant woman? Damn right he did. The director, George Tillman, wanted the film to be more real than Hollywood. Did Big really have a daughter before he became famous? This is fact. Big's daughter was born when he was 22. Tiana was born in 1994. His baby mother, Jan, spoke about him in a 2007 interview. She met him when she was coming home from work. She didn't know Big, but they had the same common friends. Around the time she was pregnant, Big met Puff. He thought that he was a dedicated businessman, that Puff had his head on straight. Jan and Big broke up when their daughter was 6 months old. Where did the nickname Biggie Smalls come from? Biggie Smalls came from the 1975 black comedy movie Let's Do It Again, starring Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby. Biggie Smalls was a gangster in the film. Did D-Rock really take the fall for the gun? Yes, he did. The former Junior Mafia member, D-Rock, was in prison again in 2001 for his involvement in a shootout between members of Lil Kim's and Capone and Noriega's camps. He was released in early 2009. D-Rock was driving the GMC Suburban on the night that Big was killed in the 1997 drive-by shooting in LA. Did Big really meet Sean Puffy Combs after a friend submitted a demo tape that he recorded? No. The way Big's demo tape got in the hands of Puff is more elaborate than what's shown in the film. After spending 9 months in a North Carolina jail, a tape that Big recorded fell into the hands of Mr. C, a DJ working with Big Daddy Kane. Big had rapped over an old Big Daddy Kane beat. C passed his tape on to Maddie at the Source magazine. As a result, Big acquired national attention when he was featured in the magazine Unsigned Hype column, which introduced new rappers. Maddie then passed the tape on to Puff at Uptown Records after Puff told him that he was looking for some hardcore rappers. Did Big first meet Puff at Uptown Entertainment, a New York record label that focused primarily on hip-hop and R&B? At the time, Puff was working as a record producer for Uptown. Puff was the first one to hear the demo tape, which is called Microphone Murder. Did Diddy really give Big a $60,000 sign-on bonus? Contrast to the movie, the actual amount was closer to $25,000. Ms. Wallace feels that all it took was $25,000 to lure her son into believing that Puff was his friend and mentor and would do anything for him. Puff really did get Big his sign-on bonus check in a Big Mac box. The box was a promotional tool used to advertise Bad Boy Records' two hottest acts at the time, Big and Craig Mack. Did Biggie's mom really battle with breast cancer? Yes. Factual, Beletta Wallace battled breast cancer twice, beating the disease both times. Did Big really marry Faith Evans after only knowing her a mere 2 months? Quote unquote, I married her after knowing her 8 days and I was happy. Big recalled in an interview the day before his death. That was my baby. At the same time, with being spontaneous, we did it backwards. We should have got to know each other, then got married. Faith and Big really did meet at a Bad Boys photo shoot and were married on August 4th, 1994. Was Puff Daddy the one who wanted Juicy to be Biggie's first single? Yes, this is a fact. Puff told Big that they had to release a radio song, so that's how Juicy became the first single released off the Ready to Die album. I remember coming home from school at the end of the summer of '94 and Rap City was showing the Juicy video, the good old days. Did Faith barge in on Biggie when he was cheating on her? Hell yeah, according to Faith Evans, Tell All memoir, Keeping the Faith, she busted in on Biggie, cheating on her on more than one occasion, including once with Lil Kim. Faith said that she saw a small lump laying next to Biggie's big ass, then she flew into a rage, pulled back the covers and grabbed some chick out of bed and started fucking her up. At some point, the chick's wig came off in her hand. It was Lil Kim. Faith stopped throwing punches. She was stark naked, yelling as Faith pushed her around the room. Faith started going in on Big. Kim left and she stayed, and her and Big got it in that same night. Like I always said, Big might have cheated on Faith numerous of times, but she was the wife.